So these are the top 8 reasons that most people are replacing their windows in South Florida. Insurance savings, energy savings, storm security, security from break-ins, aesthetics, ease of operation, noise reduction. Talking about our warranties, now we do have our glass breakage warranty from Paradise and our labor warranty from Paradise. But the warranty from Soft-Lite is, for as long as you own the home, they will replace anything for free. And also for as long as the next person owns the home. It's a double life of ownership warranty, and it's non-prorated. As you know, prorated, if you get a car battery and it's got an 8-year warranty and you use it 4 years, they give you half your money back. This is non-prorated and fully transferable to the next homeowner should you sell the home or if you plan on leaving it to family. Great warranty, best warranty we could find in the business, and Soft-Lite made the warranty first and then made the window good enough for the warranty. There are 3 ways that you can put window frames together. The first is mechanically fastened. As you can see, it's the shortest, lowest quality, shortest durability, shortest warranty. And you can even see the play in this when you pull on it. This is screwed and glued together. Fusion welding. This is where you'll heat the corners of the window up to almost 500 degrees and you'll weld them together. Now we're getting a stronger bond. And then there's 12-point fusion welding, where you heat up all 4 corners in the front and the back and the interiors. And when the window's in a perfectly square jig or frame, it's welded simultaneously, so the window's always square and always operating well. When you're building a window good enough for a double life of ownership warranty, as Soft-Lite is, you have to use 12-point fusion welding. 2 types of frame material now, aluminum and vinyl. And in 98% of the country, it's just vinyl. Wood is out. We know it's high maintenance. It doesn't last. But in Florida, they still do produce and install aluminum windows. Aluminum is mechanically fastened. It's going to be screwed and glued together. Aluminum conducts heat. Energy efficiency is typically very important to people, saving money on energy. So you're not going to get the energy efficiency you get in a vinyl window. And it's going to have a short warranty. You know, average is 1 to 5 years on the aluminum windows. Ours happens to be 10. We found a premium aluminum window with the longest warranty. It's the most economical short-term solution. Vinyl, on the other hand, is energy efficient, modern technology. You can fusion weld it, makes it stronger. And across the board, you'll always see much longer warranties with vinyl products than aluminum. We have a manufacturer that makes a vinyl and an aluminum product, custom window systems. They stand behind the vinyl product 3 times as long as the aluminum product. So that lets us as consumers know the integrity of a product when we look to that manufacturer's warranty. Vinyl is what you're going to want for energy efficiency. There's a couple different grades of vinyl. There's recycled vinyl, and then there's pure virgin vinyl. And then there's what we use, which is UPVC, unplasticized polyvinyl chloride. Recycled vinyl, I'm all about recycling like most of us, but you shouldn't really use that in the sun. The sun's going to break that material down over time. If you've ever leaned against old vinyl siding and some chalk came off on you, or cheap old white lawn furniture, that's recycled vinyl getting broken down by the sun. You can't use that when you're building a window good enough for a double life of ownership warranty. So we had to take the virgin vinyl and we had to add some things to it to make it good enough for this warranty, to make it UPVC, super polymers to create density, impact modifiers to make it stronger, thermal inhibitors to keep the expansion and contraction to a minimum, which we don't want too much expansion and contraction. Pigment stabilizers to say that the window's never going to change colors. This is our corner cut for the Soft-Lite window. And as you can see, there are dead air chambers, which are great insulators. But in addition to that, we have R5 hand-blown insulation in the frame as well for energy efficiency. This is the only high-velocity hurricane zone impact window that has insulation in the frame for energy efficiency, and that's important to most people, saving money on energy. The balance systems. This is the way that windows go up and down. How do they move up and down? And originally, way back, it was the block and tackle. There were ropes or chains up here in the side of the window, and there were weights going down in the wall, and you'd open the window and the weights would hold it up, and that worked. But they had to make some improvements on that, so they went to another form of the block and tackle, strings and springs. Now, when you have strings moving against these hard metal parts, over time they're going to fray. They don't last. When you're building a window good enough for a double life of ownership warranty, you cannot use these. The improvement from the string and spring block and tackle was to a spiral balance. As you can see here, no strings, but you have metal on metal now, and you have moving parts. So you have to lubricate it. And most of these warranties say that if you don't lubricate it once a year, the warranty's void. Most people don't want to have to remember to oil their windows annually. The other issue with the spiral balance is when it's closed, this is coated with oil, and all the airborne sand and salt and dust collect on this rod. Then when you open and close them, it begins to fill, they become hard to open, and then eventually, you ever see a window that you pull up and then it slides back down on its own? So you can't use these in a window that you're building good enough for a double life of ownership warranty. This is our EnduraForce balance system. It works off of reciprocating tension, just like a tape measure. It's a stainless steel band. There's no moving parts. There's no strings. There's nothing to oil. And these are good for over 20,000 cycles, which means you would have to open and close your window 3 times a day, every day, for about 20 years before these began to lose their tension. But again, Soft-Lite's putting components in the window that have the least chance of failing, because they're saying if something happens to this 14 years from now, they're going to put a new one in. And they don't want to come out and put new parts in all the time. So they make the original parts to last. Windows and doors are the only home improvement that enhances the look of your home from the inside as well as the outside. Additional features, the double tilt for easy cleaning. As you can see, I had the window already tilted, and it's as easy as tilting them back up and they snap right in. 2-story homes, this will keep you off a ladder when it comes time to clean the windows, but even in a 1-story home, you can clean it from the inside where it's a little cooler and you don't have to bother with wading through the bushes or be out in the heat. Pocket sill. On the bottom of the window, there is a pocket for the sash to go down into on the bottom. Most windows are a slope sill. The window just sits down on a slope sill. This goes down into a pocket. Couple of things that make this better. Number one, when there's wind pressure on that window, it has something that it's holding it from pushing it in, much like an outswing door would get pushed in against a door jamb. And then secondly, every time we can make air make a 90-degree turn, it gets slowed down by 50%. So we want to make that air make lots of 90-degree turns to keep the air out. This is how a lot of hospital windows are designed and produced, to keep out bacteria, dust, and germs. The night latches. Night latches, you can pop those two little latches out, and you can only open the window a few inches so that it can't be opened from the outside when the weather's nice. Or you can drop the top a little bit. The same when you don't want to use them, you just tuck them back in and you get full operation. There's a sash weep in the glazing bead. This little piece of engineering right here, it's a little tiny mote. Now, this glass pack, they come from the glass manufacturers already produced, and they put them in the window, and they snap this glazing bead in right here to hold it in. If any water should work its way in behind that glazing bead, like it does sometimes on many of the manufacturers, that water will sit down here below that glass pack until it evaporates or turns into steam. And then that steam can get up here into the insulated glass unit, causing it to fail. If you've ever seen a double pane window that has condensation or a mist on the inside, that was seal failure, where the gas leaked out and moisture leaked in. This one piece of engineering is one of the reasons Soft-Lite has 10 times less seal failure than any other manufacturer their size. When this window is closed and locked, it is the most airtight window in America. A couple reasons for that. We use 3 times the weather stripping of any other manufacturer, number one, and we use a triple fin weather stripping, and you can see how when you spread this apart, you can see how it has life, like it's always standing up like a brush. Most manufacturers use felt to seal windows. The moment felt tastes moisture, it gets matted down, moldy, becomes pretty ineffective. And aside from using this Mylar triple fin weather stripping, we use 300% more than any other manufacturer in terms of getting that window airtight. This weather stripping is also infused with silver as an antimicrobial. Many ancient cultures put silver in their wells to purify the water. So it has a built-in antimicrobial silver technology in here if you have allergies, and this is a very good feature, along with 3 times the amount of weather stripping any other manufacturer uses. That's why when this window is closed and locked, it is the most airtight window in America, which is energy savings and a cleaner environment in your home is what that means for you. These are the testing numbers for the Barcelona, the Soft-Lite Barcelona window. And it's the number on the bottom I wanted to draw your attention to, air 0.01. What does that mean? What does air 0.01 mean? Well, it means 0.01 cubic feet of air get in. So the way that they test a window, this chart will kind of describe how airtight this window is. They'll seal off the window around it to make sure any air has to come through the window. It can't come in around the window. And they'll put a 25-mile-an-hour wind on it, which is a very light wind for us down here in South Florida. And then they will rate how many cubic feet per minute come through that window with a 25-mile-an-hour wind. Now, you can see the industry standard is about 0.30 cubic feet per minute. That's a little over 2 gallons of air a minute coming in through that window. And think about this. What if that home had 16 windows? That's about 35 gallons of air coming in every minute through those windows. Some manufacturers got it down to a 0.23. They saved about a half a gallon. Some got it down to a 0.15. Just a little over 1 gallon. What does 0.01 cubic feet per minute translate for you? It's about 1/13 of a gallon of air coming in every minute, which essentially means that one of theirs will leak more air than 29 of ours. When this window is closed and locked, it is the most airtight window in America. And again, energy savings, a cleaner, healthier living environment. And we know the importance of that right now. Additional features on the exterior of the window for aesthetics. It has a double cove molded beveled reveal. This is like crown molding for aesthetics to make the window look nicer. Typically, these are just angled, very straight and flat. This was some of the feedback from some of our customers, wanted an aesthetically more pleasing trim around the window. Weep holes down at the bottom in that pocket sill, we have to drain the water out of there. So it has a built-in gutter system and it drains that water out of the front. And then the screen has no frame. It's a frameless screen. And, well, I'll just ask you a question. If we did this to the screens that you have in your home right now, they would probably be ruined. So this is the flex screen. And I'm going to play the flex screen video for you, which will say it all for this product right here. This is the only window in South Florida that has the flex screen feature. This is exclusive to this Soft-Lite window.
Sometimes the simplest ideas are the best, solving everyday problems that have previously been ignored. Most of us would love more fresh air in our homes, but traditional window screens decrease our view of the outside world and make our windows look unattractive. They're hard to install and damage easily. Flex Screen was designed to remove these frustrations and make things so much easier. First, they're tough. Flex Screen won't scratch or dent like traditional screens, and they are so easy to put in and take out. And the best part, Flex Screen disappears when installed, allowing a beautifully uninterrupted view of the outside. Simple, invisible, Flex Screen. Enjoy the view. Normal window screen, Flex Screen. Flex Screen, the world's first flexible window screen.
Now, this is the only window endorsed by the National Crime Prevention Council for home security. We talked about that earlier. They would never endorse a window because most break-ins happen through windows, and they would put windows through a break-in test, and they would give you a certain amount of time with a certain amount of tools, and if you can break in the window, then they won't pass you. And people always were able to break in the window until this window came along. And there's some very specific reasons for that. Most windows are just, the sashes are just hollow vinyl. And when you screw the locks down into this vinyl, there's nothing anchoring it. Somebody puts enough pressure with a crowbar and it can just rip those screws right out of the vinyl. Soft-Lite, as you can see, has put 3/8-inch aircraft-grade aluminum bars around the window, and they have screwed the lock and the keeper into those alloys. That's one reason that the NCPC endorses this exclusively. Another, as you can see, that there's a meeting rail here, sort of a tongue and groove, and from this angle. And that prevents anybody from getting anything up in there to jimmy the window open. Thirdly, there is an upper and lower tooth on the keeper, and the lock is a 180-degree dual direction cam lock that tapers, and the wider it gets, the more it draws the window in. These reasons here are why this window is the only window endorsed by the National Crime Prevention Council the NCPC, for home security and protecting your family from intruders. As you can see, there is the cam lock, and this is the keeper, the upper and lower teeth. Now, Paradise wants to protect you from intruders, break-ins, and storms, but we also have to protect you from our installers. You know, we're going to be coming out there, taking your windows out and putting your beautiful new windows in very soon for you, and so we want to make sure we take care of your home. We use tarps in high traffic areas, of course, and we have special sheeting that doesn't affect electronic equipment. We cover everything up. In between your window and your home are some other components, very important components that have to do with the installation of the window. Around the window is a strip of wood that's called the bucking. And we rebuck every window, whether municipalities mandate that or not. Some do, some don't. At Paradise, we put new wood around every window, and we use pressure-treated wood. It's a bit more expensive. We want to make sure that wood has the least chance of ever getting damp and failing. Tapcons, the large screws that hold the window in, and believe it or not, there's very high quality and low quality Tapcons and screws, and we use the best Tapcons we can find, and they all have notice NOAs for the state that are filed. The sealant that we use around the windows is Quad Max. Most caulking has no elasticity. It has no adhesion. This has the adhesion of an industrial strength glue, and it has 6 times the elasticity of regular caulk. Your home is always moving and breathing fractions of an inch, season by season. So we want to be able to make sure that we use a sealant that's going to give with that. And because our installers are trained and certified by this manufacturer, another exclusive feature to this window and our company is the 15-year warranty for water infiltration around your products because of this sealant that we use. This is an expensive material, which is why most companies that use subcontractors who go to Home Depot or Lowe's that morning to buy their materials, they buy the cheaper caulk because they're the ones that have to pay for it. We mandate that this is used on our products, and so that 15-year water infiltration warranty is an exclusive feature as well.
Great windows alone aren't enough to protect your home against Mother Nature, because she can work her way into almost anything, even inside your walls, where you may not even notice. And when she does, it can cost you a lot. But an OSI certified installer can keep her out. OSI certified installers provide best-in-class window, door, and siding installation. From the industry leader in installation training and certification, they learn how to use the quad window and door system, tested against stronger than hurricane force conditions, and proven as the most advanced protection against the elements available. That's why leading window, door, and siding companies recommend OSI certified installers for their windows. Because they know that OSI certified installers give you peace of mind that your home will be dry, energy efficient, comfortable, and beautiful, no matter how hard Mother Nature tries.
I'm gonna pinch the competitor first, and we're gonna pull this. So here we go. 1, oh, it's really hard. I gotta grab it better. I'm gonna guess, even though I had to grab it extra, it stretched maybe 1.5 times its length. And that's pretty normal. That's what we expect of a normal, ordinary sealant. Let's take a look at Quad Max. I'm gonna pinch it right here at the mark, and I'm gonna stretch it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It keeps going. That's amazing. I can't even really break it. Look at that. That's amazing. It was somewhere 6 or 7 times. We say that Quad Max stretches 5 times its length, and that's a benefit to you because not only are your materials moving, but they're moving seasonally and they're moving every year, cyclically, year after year after year. So if your sealant doesn't stretch, it's going to fail. If you have flexibility and no adhesion, you have failure. If you have adhesion and no flexibility, you have failure, so they need to work together. Not only will it bond to all the common materials that we use today in construction, from composites to vinyls to plastics to steels, but it flexes with them, as we saw, and has incredible adhesion. This is some composite trim right here, and if I tug this as hard as I cannot get any failure. This is a sealant that has the strength of a construction adhesive and surpasses the flexibility of any competitive product. That's Quad Max. On a job site, stuff can happen really quick. Quad Max won't wash out, even if you have a little bit of moisture on your job. After 1 hour, I can come back and paint Quad Max, no problem. In 24 hours, it's fully cured and doesn't shrink a bit. That also helps to prevent bubbles from wrecking my work. In addition to that, Quad Max resists UV. It doesn't break down or chalk like some of the other products on the market. And if it should get dusty or dirty, Quad Max rinses clean in the first rainstorm. That's Quad Max.
There's only one way to put Mother Nature in her place. And it just happens to be a sealant. Introducing the new groundbreaking OSI Quad Max. OSI, tougher than the elements.
Of course, a license is in our owner's name, and Miss Beckner also has a license in her name as a backup. This is a multi-generational family business. It's going to be around a while, so we've taken measures to ensure that. This is Eric Beckner, the owner's brother, our production manager, and he will go around to projects. He'll come to your project unannounced, at random, to check on the installers to make sure they're doing the right thing. And they know Eric's coming, they just don't know when he's coming. So they do the right thing. So we're constantly checking on jobs and checking in on our installers for quality control. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Florida is one of the last areas that is using aluminum windows. And there's code changes that we see. As Americans, we see things going to energy efficiency everywhere. Appliances, automobiles, hot water heaters, everything. And it's going to eventually envelop the entire country. The next code change is in 2020. At some point, these aluminum windows that have no energy efficiency will probably not be allowed to be installed. They'll probably have to have certain energy efficient levels. Thinking down the road, those that maybe do that now and don't put energy efficient windows in the home, they could have a product in their home later that might slow down the marketing of their home or really have them be able to ask less for the home. Because at that point, everybody's going to be looking for homes that are up to code and that are energy efficient to save money. So the energy efficiency of this window is first achieved by custom fitting the window, making sure the window fits your home perfectly. We're going to make every window to fit every opening perfectly. The weather stripping, 3 times the weather stripping, where it's the most airtight window in America when it's closed and locked. And the glass. Glass has come a long way. It used to be just single pane glass. That's what you have in your home now, and doesn't keep any heat out. Then they went to double pane glass, and that helped. Then they went to triple pane when they found out adding glass would keep more heat out. Then they realized they couldn't just keep adding glass. They had to, at some point, improve the glass, or the window would be too heavy. There'd be too much material to keep adding glass. So they started to create some coatings called low E. You might have heard of that in your window research. And it's a couple coats of silver, so thin, you can still see through the window, but it reflects that radiant heat. So to demonstrate the energy efficiency of this glass, I have a BTU meter. This measures British thermal units, and it's going to measure the heat from this heat lamp, which is going to act like the sun. So we're turning on our sunlight here, and I'm going to set this meter on 100. And that's going to say that 100% of the heat is reaching the meter. So there we're set on 99, 100, and the important thing is that the meter and the lamp do not move during the test. So what we have right now is single pane glass. This is what's in your home right now, single pane glass. This is the window being open and the sun shining in. So we're going to close the window. And you can see from the upper shot that it's down to 82. 82% of the heat is still coming in. A quality single pane window is going to be $700 to $900. So they said, hey, let's make a double pane window. Let's use 2 pieces of glass. That should help. So we close the window, and you can see that the meter has gone down to 66. 66% of the heat is still coming through the window. A quality double pane window is $900 to $1,100, give or take. So they said, hey, this adding glass is really working well. Let's make a triple pane window. We're headed in the right direction by adding glass. So we have a triple pane window. We will close the window, and that gets it down to 50. Well, we're stopping half the heat now. 50% of the heat is still getting through. A quality triple pane window is $1,100 to $1,300. That's when they said, hang on a second, we can't keep adding glass. The windows will be too heavy, too much material, too expensive. So they came up with a coating called low E that we just discussed. Couple coats of silver so thin you can see through it, but it's to reflect that radiant heat. We close the window, and we're down to 70, which is less glass, but almost the same efficiency. For a quality low E window, it's going to be about $1,300 to $1,600 a window. So as you can see, the more energy efficient the glass is getting, obviously, the more expensive. So they came up with a window to try to keep as much heat out as they could. This is fiberglass insulation. One little issue with this window, there's just not much of a view. But to show you fiberglass insulation, the very same thing that's in the wall of your home, keeping your home insulated from the elements, they put into the window. Let's see what that reads. Well, that gets down to 25. As you can see, 25% of the heat is still getting through. But now we've stopped 75% of the heat. So I think you'd agree this would be the ultimate energy efficient window if you could see through it, wouldn't it? Well, that being said, this is where we're going to put in your home. This is our Solar Band 70. Has 12 layers of silver, titanium dioxide, and zinc stacked up to be even more efficient. We close the window, and yes, we're down to 2. As you can see from the overhead shot, down to only 2. 98% of the heat is stopped from coming into your home. And if the heat's not coming through the window, your air conditioner is working less, which means it's going to live longer, correct? You'd agree with that. And if your air conditioner is working less, obviously, it means you're saving money. You would agree with that, wouldn't you? And if we're saving money, then these windows definitely pay for themselves over time, don't they? I'm sure you can agree with that. That's return on investment. That's why energy efficiency is so important to homeowners when it comes to replacing their windows and doors. They want a product that they can invest in that's going to return the money to them. It's kind of like this. If you were shopping for a refrigerator and you were in the store and there were 2 refrigerators side by side and they were identical, nothing's different, and one was $1,000 and one was $2,000, which one would you get? Of course, the $1,000, you'd be insane not to. But if you found out this, if you discovered that if you invest in the one for $2,000, in 5 years, you'd get all $2,000 of your dollars back and you can keep the refrigerator, then which one would you invest in, providing you could afford it? Exactly, the $2,000 one, because you know that money is coming back. So there is something to be said for investing in something that's so energy efficient that it returns all the money to you, even if it costs twice as much. I guess that's what we just discovered. So, we've done all this. We've made Paradise Exteriors a type of company that everybody feels comfortable doing business and would like to do business with. And we have found ourselves a product, and we've designed and modified it in a way where everybody says, this is the window that I want for my home. We work very hard for that. And we want you to feel the same way, and I'm sure you do after seeing this. This is the only window that you'd have in your home. Thank you for tuning into the presentation. We're very grateful to be having a chance to earn your business, and we're going to take very good care of you like all of our Paradise family. Thank you.